This is the plaintiff, Kenneth Richard Troschler. He says his ungrateful son, the defendant, refuses to pay him back for a student loan he co-signed on. The defendant's also being very disrespectful to his mother, calling her stupid, and he's had enough of it. He needs this court's help, so he's suing for $2,341.14, the amount he's owed. This is the defendant, Kenneth Ryan Troschler. He says his father kicked him out of the house in the middle of school and basically left him homeless. He even changed the locks on him, and he was forced to drop out of school. Since then, he's turned things around, gotten himself back into school, but can't afford to pay the plaintiff back in full, and can't understand why his dad's going back on their $10 payment plan agreement. He's accused of not coughing up all the dough.
All parties, please raise your right hand. Be seated. Come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn, and it's Troschler. Yes.
Okay, Kenneth Richard Troschler?
Yes, Your Honor.
You are suing your son, Kenneth Ryan Troschler?
Yes, Your Honor.
For $2,341.14 in loan payments for him for college that you say you made that were his responsibility?
Yes.
Okay, you are his father?
Yes, I am.
How old are you?
42.
How old are you?
23.
My goodness, you're very young. You look like brothers. You don't look like father and son. Did you raise him?
Yes, I did.
Okay. What happened here?
Well, beginning back in 2006 of July, he took out a student loan to begin college after high school, which I needed to co-sign.
Okay.
That was for $20,541. Following the first year, he hadn't done all that well the first semester. He had 1 D, but we figured it's a tough adjustment. It's a difficult time. Second semester, he had 2 Ds. Okay, he had some tough classes, but my wife and I said, listen, you need to get extra help in these classes.
Is your wife his mother?
No.
Okay. Was he living with you?
Yes.
Okay. How long had he been living with you?
Approximately 3-4 years prior to that.
Okay. So go ahead.
After that, the following year, I co-signed another loan for another $26,000 so he could continue to attend school. That's his sophomore year. The first semester midterm grades came out, and he had 4 Ds. We came down a little tough on him, and he rebelled against that.
How did you come down a little tough? Define that.
We yelled at him, told him to get his stuff together, going out before midterms, going out before the night of the finals. Are really not the way to take your school seriously. You're not going to succeed.
Had you already yelled at him for that when it was going on, or?
We had made mention of it.
Right.
After that, I didn't see him for about 5 days, but he walked around the house and pretty much was very disrespectful to my wife.
How?
Talking down and not being, kind.
Okay.
Which was kind of a slap in the face. He lived there rent-free. He didn't have a job. He didn't pay for gas. He used our cars. He pretty much had a free ride.
Okay.
So I called him up on.
And at this point, he's how old? At that point that you're talking about, he's how old?
20 at that point.
Okay, so go on.
I called him on his cell phone, and I discussed it with him and said, listen, you need to come home and apologize to Susan, my wife. And he said, well, she's not being respectful. And I said, listen, you need to come home and apologize, or you need to come home so we can discuss it when I'm home. After that, he pretty much disappeared for a week.
Okay.
So after that week, I went and changed all the locks. Immediately after that, I amazingly got a phone call that he was angry that I changed the locks on him. I stated, well, I told you to come home and discuss this. You haven't been here, really haven't had a choice. Now come home and apologize, or you're going to have to move out. He said, I'm not apologizing, I'll move out.
Okay. Where did you go?
I went to my significant other's house.
Okay, and how long did you stay there? Is that where you live now?
That is not where I live now.
Okay, so how long were you flopping there?
I was there for about 6 months.
6 months, well, that's not fun. All right, so now, what seemed to be the problem? Why couldn't you get your act together?
I was having trouble the first semester, just kind of the adjustment. I wasn't a party or anything like that. I didn't go out.
He says you were going out during finals and midterms, the night before the finals and the midterms.
This was while I was at school. I was living at school for the first year. So
you weren't living with him?
So I was not living the first year of college. I was living on campus.
Okay.
So then during the summer for the following year, they suggested that I move back home. They said, you can use the car. So I took the car to go to school, and my grades were still not doing well. My classes were getting increasingly difficult, and I was considering changing my major. While I was living there, I helped out around the house. I have a little brother who I babysat for them whenever they asked. I did chores around the house.
You weren't paying rent, though, right?
I was not paying rent.
Right. And you're just trying to say that you weren't a jerk.
Right.
Okay. What happened between you and his wife?
She started accusing me of stealing money and stealing the dog medication that the dog had.
What kind of dog medication?
It was phenobarbital. So she started accusing me of this stuff. She tells my father that I've been, doing all of this, and he believes her.
All right, so anyway, you move out. The bottom line is, it doesn't work out. You move out. And your dad is paying these payments for you because you're not paying them.
What happened was all the mail was being sent to his house 6 months after I stopped.
Well, you have loan payments that you have to make. You're a big boy.
Well,
You're a college boy.
6 months after they came due, I missed, I think, 2 or 3 payments, and then they started calling me, saying where are the payments, things like that.
So you certainly knew then. And so did you make any payments?
At the time, I was not able to afford it. I had my W-2s from 2008.
Well, you weren't going to school. So what were you doing all day?
I was working.
Okay, so then why weren't you able to afford? How much were the payments? How much are the payments, Dad?
They were about just over $300 for both loans a month.
A month. Okay. So what did you do when you couldn't afford it and you were supposed to be paying it? What did you do? And by the way, the only reason these payments have come due is because you dropped out of school.
Correct.
Otherwise, they'd have been deferred until you were finishing school.
Correct, but I could not finish school. I was unable to.
I'm sorry?
I was unable to continue going to school.
Well, you weren't able to continue going to school. Why?
They would not let me go for financial aid because my mother...
Your grades were so low. So you couldn't go to that school.
Not because my grades were so low, but because both my parents refused to give me their information, and I am not allowed to claim myself as an independent in their eyes until I'm 24. So I could not get financial aid.
What do you mean they refused to give you their information?
They refused to give me their tax information so that I could file for financial aid as a dependent.
Both your parents refused to give it to you?
Both my parents refused to give it to me.
Why did your mother refuse to give it to you?
My mother...
Your dad's mad at you for this whole story.
My mother ran away from the state. She was dodging personal things, and for a very long time I did not have a phone number or anything to get a hold of her.
Was she around while you were growing up?
She raised me.
Okay. When did you go live with your dad?
I moved in with my dad when I was 16.
Okay. So, and she raised you until you were 16, and then she just took off, and you had no phone number for her? For how long did you not communicate with your mother?
I left her house on my own accord because she was not happy with my sexual orientation. Okay. So I left and stayed with my father, and then she left. And
then she just didn't talk to you for how long?
It was about 2 years.
I'm sorry about your circumstances.
Right,
it sounds like you've had a tough ride. But when they start telling you, you got to pay, and they're calling you, what do? I can't afford it?
I couldn't afford it.
And you were working?
And I was working.
But it was just too much money?
I was living with roommates. I was paying rent and utilities, and I didn't have a full-time job.
Okay. So what did you do?
I tried to make deals with them. I said, can we put this on forbearance? And they said, well, it has to be current. So my father and I contact each other since we're both signers on the loan. And
now at that point, you hadn't talked to your father in how long?
That point, it wasn't too long. I think it was about 6 months.
So you two work it out to try to get it into forbearance, which means that they'll lay off and give you some more time to pay.
Well, I had threatened to take him to court to get this, for him to start making some type of payments. $5, $10, make something. But
$5, $10 to who? They're not going to take $5 or $10.
A week to me.
To you.
For the payments I made.
Were you making the payments?
I made several of the payments.
Okay.
He said he was going to join the Navy. They would pay for.
And did you join the Navy?
I did, and then I was discharged.
Discharged how quickly?
During basic training.
And why?
Suicide.
Well, not suicide, because we're talking.
Well, right, but...
Suicide attempt?
Attempt, yes.
After how many days?
2 weeks.
Okay, how you doing?
I'm good.
Okay, are you in therapy?
Spiritual.
Okay, so they discharged you?
Yes.
All right.
And welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. With a problem kid, would you ever sue your kid to teach him a lesson?
No.
Never?
Never. Maybe adoption.
Pardon me?
Maybe adoption.
You mean if it was an adopted kid, you'd sue?
Consider putting him up for
Oh,
adoption.
you'd put him up for adoption. Well, I mean, I'm really serious. If you had a kid and there's some way of like getting to him, would suing ever work?
No, if I were the parent, I wouldn't bring the matter into court.
What about you? Hearing from a guy.
I wouldn't sue my kid, I don't think. I don't know why, I just don't think I would.
It actually, no?
Well, maybe.
Oh, okay, I got a maybe.
If it depends what the problem is, but yes, I would if he would learn a lesson.
That's the thing. It's about learning a lesson, isn't it? Going inside the courtroom.
Your father has paid up to now $2,341.14 on your loans. How much have you paid on your loans?
I paid about 6 months of payments after they stopped forbearancing it because of the forbearance time was up. And then I was unemployed for about 3 or 4 months.
Okay.
And then I went back
When
to
you
school.
stopped paying, did you call him and tell him, hey, I know your credit might be affected by this. Here's my problem. I lost my job. Did you do anything like that?
I did not. We started talking again after we went to court for a case and it was dismissed because we were going to work out a payment plan.
And what was the payment plan that you guys worked out?
He asked for, $10, $20 a week.
And did you pay that?
I gave him the $20 the very first week, and then he gave it back to me and said, I know you're going through a tough time.
Okay.
And he said, so I was going to pick it back up when I was in a better position.
Okay.
So then the time rolls around, he pays 2 more, and then he's like, oh, well, I want it all right now.
Let me ask you this. What is this little message that's here? What is this? Is this Facebook?
That is Gmail.
Gmail. This is dated October 27th. And it's obviously who gave me this? Did you give it to me?
Yes.
And it's in the middle of God knows what you were saying to each other before this, so it might be out of context. But this is an email from him to you. You never thanked me. You don't know how to say thank you or sorry. It's something you learned from your mother. As for Susan, it sounds like the kettle calling the... Who's Susan?
His wife.
Okay, Susan, it sounds like the kettle calling the pot black. But at least she didn't try to kill herself after 2 days of Navy reception. I will take you to court and get every penny I paid if it takes me the next 20 years. If you want me out of your life, pay your student loans. I promise you'll never hear from me again. Until then, we're partners, remember. Who talks like that to their son?
Your Honor, I have the whole email.
But who
where
talks
he
like that to their son?
Called us names and called my wife names.
I know, but I mean, he's 23 and he's, he has a lot of issues and stuff. I mean, he's old enough to know better, but I mean, you're the dad. I mean, I gotta know that you know that is not the way to talk to your blood.
Your Honor, I'm
that
not
tried
perfect.
to kill themselves. No, you're not. And I don't know. Do you love your son?
Yes, I do.
Do you love
very
your
much.
father?
Of course.
Okay. You guys got work to do. I'm not Dr. Phil. I can't do the work here, but seriously, you guys have some work to do. I don't know your demons, I don't know your issues, and you have your own problems that you're working through. Mm-hmm. But you need to understand, too, that there's a lot that you needed to be grateful for. And he's not perfect. I don't like the way he talked to you there. I'm not, but you need to understand that there's things you need to work on. You need to understand that you don't need to continue to let him be a financial drain on you and your life, but you also at least need to still have civil discourse. All right, you're going to win this case, but your problems with is this your firstborn? God,
Yes,
I hope
he is.
so. All right, your problems with your firstborn are not going to go away after I bang that gavel. You understand that, right?
I understand that.
Do me a personal favor. After you two walk out of here and after you're done talking to Kurt in the hallway, will you two talk to each other?
Sure.
Yes, Your Honor.
I think you should. Based on what I've heard, my verdict in this case is for the plaintiff. There's no dispute that you're supposed to have been paying this, that you weren't, and that he's paid $2,341.14. So I'm ordering you to pay back that amount. Okay? That's my judgment.
Well, the case having to do with the student loans is taken care of. And now you move on to the rest of the stuff that you need, or do you want to take care of with your dad?
I would like to, if it's possible.
He's standing right over there. When you look over and see him, what thoughts go through your mind? I mean, there he is. You don't even want to look over there, it seems like.
It's hard. It's difficult.
Why? Explain.
It's just, he's made things very difficult for me.
So it's going to be a process, right?
Yes.
Of warming it up and getting back together, trying to get back and close with him again,
Yes.
but you're willing to go through that process?
Yes.
Okay, all right. All right, head right down the corner there.
Thank you.
All right, that was fair enough. What about what he just said?
In regards to?
being willing to take some steps toward you to try to get close to you
Absolutely.
again?
I'd love to get back together with him. We got together a year ago when I contacted him, invited him to Thanksgiving, and things blew up after that. And I hadn't heard
Well, now
from
that
him
this
since.
case is disposed of and you know, out of the way, this obstacle is removed, what's there now?
I hope a relationship.
And you're willing to do the same thing he said?
Absolutely.
Step toward him?
Absolutely.
All right, you plan to talk to him when you
Yes, I
meet
do.
in the back over there?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Harvey?
Okay, short and sweet. The litigants never spoke after they walked out of the hallway. Kind of sad. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.